Okay, we are live. Hit that like button, people. Back again with another live stream. It's Friday, July 22nd, 2022 at 6:17 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas. How is everybody doing? So back again. We've been very, very busy on the channel. And we have the ThinkPad X13s in the studio. It's running the Snapdragon 8, the Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. So this is the updated version of the Snapdragon, Windows on ARM. Let's see how it's all going to play out, of course. But hope you can hear me and see me okay. It's good to see everybody. Let's say hello to a few people as we get everybody filed in here. Good to see William. And he's looking forward to this because, well, he's got the HP coming in. And speaking of which, he got the HP Spectre X360 with the ARC A370M graphics. Well, Monday, I believe, or Tuesday, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, I don't know when it's exactly going to arrive, but I will be getting the 14-inch updated Spectre X360. It'll be the 14-inch with the OLED. So I will have some videos on that next week. So I look forward to that. That has a 12th gen, I think, U-series processor, integrated Iris Xe graphics. Now, not like the 16, which has the ARC graphics. Hopefully we'll get that as well. So that's coming for those that are waiting for some more HP stuff. Eugenio Neris is here. Good to see you. Everything looks good according to Potato Gorin. So William is going to get that coming in. Coming up to J.A. Garcia. Coming up. You got it, my friend. And who else do we have? We have a few people here. So do me a favor. We got 47 of you watching. Hit that thumbs up so this way we can get this spread out over YouTube. And if you're already not a subscriber, why not become a subscriber? Because if you like this kind of stuff, the ThinkPad stuff, the Dell. Now, speaking of the Dell, I have the XPS 13 Plus in the Core i5 and the Full HD Plus display. So that just arrived today. I may do a separate unboxing in the morning tomorrow or maybe in the afternoon so we can maybe get that done. I already reviewed it as far as the i7, the OLED. So now I got the IPS. We'll see how the battery life is on the i5 with the IPS, Full HD Plus. I'm expecting a little bit better battery life, but looking forward to that. And it's also the graphite color, not the platinum, which I have in the higher end one. So again, good stuff from there. I also ordered a Dell XPS 13 9315. That's going to be coming, but not for a few more weeks. So that's coming as well. So for those that want a traditional function row, that will have it. But let's get to the ThinkPad line. And today we have the ThinkPad X13s with the Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. So how many do we have here? We got 53. So let's get right to business. Let me get rid of the lower thirds. Let's put it on here. And let's take off the comment and let's just get to business here. So this, and I'll get to your comments and questions. Let's get it out of the box and then we'll go from there. So typical ThinkPad packaging. I think it's already been opened up, but you know what? For dramatic purposes, in case I do a video on it, which I think I will, let's put this over here and let's just get the handy knife ready. Pretend we're going to cut it. That should do it. That's good for dramatic effect. And let's open this sucker up. Let's see what Lenovo sent over as far as the specs. I'm not really sure too much, but we'll get into it. I know it's this Windows on ARM. And for those that are interested, there is a link in the description below that will give you the link to it. Now, it's not on sale right now, but it was on sale for about in the 1,500 range, or maybe a little less, but I don't have the sale. The sale is not on right now. At least not what I can tell. So we got some documentation. Let's get this over here. So before we get to the device, let's see. This is a typical 65-watt USB-C power adapter that we see from Lenovo. And it uses USB-C. So typical stuff, nice, compact. And so that's looking good. And of course, they give you the extension cord as well. And some documentation, probably nothing too exciting here. So set up your cellular access. So this one has 5G, I think millimeter wave or sub 6, something like that. I don't know. We'll check it out. This is the documentation, warranty information, typical stuff. So we'll take out, I'm going to put my SIM card in it and we'll test it this weekend. I'll use it, of course. And then, of course, the unit itself. And wow, this looks nice. So this is that really nice dark gray finish. Now it has a really nice feel to it. I believe this is made of 90% recycled aluminum according to the press materials. Very high end, very premium feeling. It has a full HD, it says right here, 5 megapixel f2.0 digital array mic. So a 5 megapixel camera there, and that's what the lettering says on that little strip. ThinkPad branding. It has almost like a rubberized grip, a nice feel to it. And very nice and light. And again, nice thin too as well. So this is the bottom of it. And according to this is made out of recycled magnesium. So recycled magnesium. So if I said aluminum, it's even lighter. It's recycled magnesium. And let me see, it's just showing a little bit of fingerprints so far. As far as any ports, let me put it here. So we got two USB-C 3.2 ports. I think these are Gen 1, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that. Oh, Gen 2. So 3.2 Gen 2 right over here. And then on the other side, SIM tray for the 5G. And then, of course, you have the 3.5 millimeter headset jack. And then, of course, a Kensington lock port. So no USB-A port. Pretty thin and light, of course. And really nice build. And let's see if we can do the one-handed test. There's a little lip, which I like, the reverse notch. It's a little light to open it up with one finger. And there it is. So really nice ThinkPad keyboard here. And you want to see a closer look at it. That's the ThinkPad keyboard we know and love. I'll take a feel of it right now, actually. Feels good. Got the track point, physical mouse buttons. Unlike the Z13, which had the haptic touchpad, I believe this is a traditional touchpad, a precision touchpad. Very nice so far. And it has the Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. So let's boot it up. You can look at it from the side angle. There it is. And it can go far back, as you see here. So it doesn't go all the way back. You can see here. That's about as far as it goes, okay? So while that's booting up, good to see some people. I'll get to your comments in a moment. But good to see everybody. We now have, let's see how many people is here. 87 of you watching. So it's booted up. Now, they set it up in advance. The team over at Lenovo does a great job. And it's a really nice matte display. So I think it's a 300 nit display. Now, there is an option for touchscreen, but I don't think this one. Yeah, this does not have touch. This is the 13.3-inch non-touch option. There is a touch model, but they're both full HD plus, 1920 by 1200. And this one is supposedly have 100% sRGB. And of course, I'll do all the testing on that. Yes, good to see Duck Vision here. Good to see Digital Slang. We'll get everybody onto the broadcast here. Let me move that down. And then good to see Duck Vision. Yeah, Lenovo sends me the laptops, man. They've been doing that for quite a while. I'm really happy. How are the bezels around the display? You can see it here. Very thin. They're pretty thin bezels. Very, very nice. You can see it there. And Michael Ohanian, yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Watching this on the X13s, so you already have yours, Jarrett. Good to see you. Is this better than the X13? How could I know? He just unboxed it. So how could I know? And I just took delivery, and as I mentioned earlier, of the i5 Full HD version of the XPS 13 Plus. All right, so So far, it's looking good. Let me set up my Wi-Fi so we can get this set up, maybe run some benchmarks. Now, this is going to have, it looks like it has a SIM card already in it from AT&T. So they must have sent one with a SIM card already in. You can see it there, right there. So let me see if I have any connection before I connect to my Wi-Fi. I'm just kind of interested to see if they sent it. Probably that's a nice touch from their PR team if they did. It makes it easier for me. So that's an AT&T SIM in there. Let me go to my website, which never gets updated, very, very rarely. I tell you to go to there. So it looks like it's got already a SIM card in there. It's supposed to have millimeter. Let me see which one. Let me go to the specs here before I misquote it. It's got the integrated Adreno 690 graphics. It has, as far as the connectivity, wireless WAN, 5G sub-6 eSIM or 5G millimeter wave eSIM. So I'm not really sure which one I have. When I open it up, we'll check it out. But really smooth so far, pretty smooth. All right, that's just with the 5G in it. But let's connect to the Wi-Fi and let's get this little bit more in tune with what I got going on here. And let me go, and I'll get to your questions and comments. We're just trying to get this unboxed. Right now, there's a little dirt on my table. Not sure from what. It's a lot of work, my friends. A lot of work. We only got 31 likes, but we got 70 of you watching. So why don't I hit that like button? All right, so this is connected. It's hopefully trying to connect to my network. Maybe I put in the wrong password. Hold on. Hopefully this will connect. If not, we're going to be stuck on the 5G, which seems to be working okay. So it's not able to connect, huh? Something wrong with the Wi-Fi? Try again. So it's not letting me connect to my Wi-Fi. Not sure if it's an issue or not. We'll see. Not really sure. And now it's connected. It took a couple of tries, but it's connected. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the specs here. But let me show you on the screen before we do that. Let me go over here for a moment, and let me go here, and let me go here. So we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3 here. This is a 16:10 aspect ratio, 13.3-inch WXGA 1920 by 1200 display, Wi-Fi 6E, optional 5G sub-6, or millimeter wave wireless WAN. I think they have the wrong thing there. Wide 115 millimeter touchpad, AI camera. I don't know which camera we have on here. Got the power on, match on chip fingerprint reader, privacy e-shutter, mil-spec tested. Yeah, the durability is looking good so far and the initial feel to it. ThinkPad durability, of course, two 2-watt stereo speakers with Dolby audio. That means, does this have two 2 watts? So would that mean this has quad speakers? Two 2 watts. No, this could be just two speakers, right? Environmentally sustainable, robust security, includes tile tracking. So you can get this with the optional tile tracking. So that's been pretty good. Now, if I switch back to the camera, hopefully, if I can get back to the camera here, it would be great. And what the hell is going on here? Okay, no camera. What the hell is going on here? Okay, that's the last time I'm going to try that. Okay, I'm not really sure, people, what the hell, why this went black. This is what happens when you do things live. Hold on, there I am. I think it has to do, oh, I know what it is. I'm sorry. There we go. I got it. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that. The blackout, Dave Hagen. Yeah, sorry about that. It's this Ecamm Live. So just ignore that happened, okay? I paid the bill. All right, so let's get back to business here. So this, let's try running some benchmarks here, but let's take a look at some of the specs here. Let me go to the settings here. Sorry about that, people. Let's go to the system specs, and this is running the Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3, 16 gigabytes of RAM. I think it's LPDDR5. It has, I think mine has 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. It supposedly supports Gen 4. We'll see. I don't know what they put in here. And it's got the, let's take a look at the device manager here. I just really quickly, I want to see what this has in terms of the network adapters. So this has a Snapdragon X55 5G modem. So that's interesting. And Wi-Fi 6E, of course, Bluetooth 5.2. So let me connect it up. Actually, let me, it's not plugged in, but let me see if we can download a benchmark. Let me see if it can run 64-bit apps. It supposedly should. So let's go to Geekbench 5. Let's see if we can download it. And let me go to Windows. And that's what happens when you do things live. Since it's ARM, would it affect programming compilation? The thing is, it's going to be running in emulation mode, but with Windows 11, it should be doing it seamlessly, hopefully, but we'll see. This is supposed to have a boost in performance over the Gen 2 with the 8cx Gen 2. We saw that in the HP Elite Folio. So we'll see if this works out okay. Let's that download, and let's see if it will just run without even plugging it in, but we should probably plug it in. Let me see if I have a plug here. I have this 45 watt. Let me see if this will be enough even, just to see what's going on. It's easier. I had it handy here. Looks like it's charging, no problem. Let's go open the... And let's see if we can connect it to HDMI. So I can show you nice and clearly with that second USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 port. So while that loads in, let's load that in. Okay, there it is. All right, let's see if this can run it. Set it up, agree, next. This is 300 nits. This is 300 nits. I don't think it's more than that, but it's a matte display, so it has that. So it looks like it could run the Geekbench, probably in emulation mode because it doesn't do it natively with 64-bit. Yeah. So again, I don't think we can run the, you see, we can't run the graphics, but we can run the CPU. So let's run the CPU test. Let's, let me see if this, if we can put it on this power mode. I don't know what we have it on. It's on balance. Let's go to the best performance. We'll run it again if we have to. So there it is. I'm just curious to see just right out of the gate what kind of Geekbench single core, multi-core score we can get. I feel so bad about that blackout. That was my fault, by the way. I hit the wrong button on the Ecamm Live because when I put that graphics on, that's what happens when you try to get too fancy on these live streams. But it's looking good so far right now. We got 60 of you watching, so that's been pretty good. And this is while this is running. How's everybody doing? It's good to see you. And then right now we've already been 21 minutes already. I don't know where the time goes. I guess when you're having fun. Yeah, stuff happens, man. Good to see you, Dave. Let's go to Lionheart. It's okay. Where are the dimensions? What are the dimensions? So the dimensions are, well, it's running the Geekbench test. So the dimensions are 13.4 millimeters by 298.7 millimeters by 206.4 millimeters. Now for inches, 0.53 inches by 11.76 inches and 8.13 inches. Now the weight, 1.06 kilograms or 2.35 pounds. So looking good so far. Let's go back here. And I'm hoping to see if this could give me a Core i5 on par with a 10th or even 11th gen Intel processor. I'll take it. I'll take it. Doesn't have that carbon fiber rest on it. No, it's like almost like a rubberized grip on it. Really nice, actually. This is made out of recycled magnesium. It's an alloy. So while we're waiting for that, let me take a drink. Cheers, everyone. So let's see the result. And pretty much what I expected. A pretty decent result, actually. 1103 for single core. Not bad, considering what we saw with Gen 2. And 5662. And I think that's a decent number. That's on par with I would say a 10th or even that's 11th gen Core i5. That's an 11th gen. Even a Core i7, depending on which unit we were looking at last year. That's not too bad. What does this nice recycled component PC sell for? That's the kicker. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and we can get an idea. Go to Lenovo's website. Let me go to Google because this is not working out. I didn't install Chrome, so let's think. Okay, here we go. So this is it here. So let's view all models. So this is very expensive right now. Now I did see it a lot cheaper about a week ago or so. So this is not I wouldn't be scared off with this price. I saw it, I think, as low as $1,300 or so. It's a premium ThinkPad. I mean, you know, you're going to pay the premium. It's a pretty nice design. I'm liking it already. So let's go to this. So it's a 13S Snapdragon, 2169. And it would deliver by July 25th. So if we go to the different specs, let's click that. It's been pretty snappy so far with the Snapdragon. And you can get it with 16 gigabytes of RAM or even 32, it looks like. There's an option for a touch screen. Other than that, you have the non-touch. They're both 300 nits. And they all have anti-glare. So this is going to be more of a matte display, which is good. Now, I have the Snapdragon X55 5G sub-6 modem. So this is what I have here is the sub-6 modem. Run the coupons, you'll get about 40% off. Probably, Arian. See, there are some coupons here. You know, you just got to play. You got to look for the coupons. And Lenovo, and the key thing with Lenovo is you got to just keep watching their sites. Keep looking at the links in my videos. It'll have the latest pricing. So that's how much it is. So it's not cheap, but again, these are business and enterprise focused. Can't run the CPU test. Let's run a couple of other benchmarks. Let's get the Cinebench. Let's do the R15. That's a quick one, and then we'll do some more if we have some time. So while that's doing that, and we got 76 of you, so it's a decent turnout. So while we're doing this, let me download the Cinebench R15. Here we go. Pretty snappy so far. Don't forget, I'm connected via HDMI, so it's taking something away from that with that. And then, of course, it also has the 5G, but I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. So let's download that. So while that's downloading, I've been using the ThinkPad Z13 exclusively for the last day or so, and I got to say, I am blown away by that Z13. I am absolutely loving it. The Ryzen 7 Pro, the 6850U, has been working out great. I did my battery test. It did well. It did over 11 hours on my initial test. Still doing very well in that department. It can get a little bit warm on the bottom. I'm going to talk about it in the upcoming review. The thermals are pretty decent, although the fans will kick in under heavy load. But the battery life has been much better than the P series on the 12 gen processors. That's what I've been noticing so far. And we're going to see great battery life out of this Snapdragon-based ThinkPad. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'm going to have to do a lot of testing on that. But it's good that I'm able to even run, even in emulation mode, the 64-bit apps. But getting back to the Z13 worked out pretty well so far, and I'm going to have more to talk about that very soon. And I also took delivery of the XPS 13 Plus with the i5 Full HD Plus in graphite. We're going to be talking about that very soon. The Z13 is a great laptop. It's not good. It's a great laptop. I'm going to be talking about it. It's really, really good. I'm very happy with it. The Z series, in fact, we could probably put it side to side in a moment, but let's get back to here and let's run a couple more benchmarks. So this is the R15. Let's unpack this one. Look how pretty snappy it's been. You know, it's a real 11th gen i5 equivalent. I got to give my hats off to them so far. Gaming, listen, let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away, but so far, maybe you can. Maybe you can. If you lower some of the settings. But again, it'll have to run an emulation for any 64-bit app. So we'll see. And the display is actually really nice. Now, it's a matte display. It's 300 nits, so I don't think it's been an issue so far as brightness. I think it's looking pretty good. But no glare reflection. You see a little bit of glare there, but very minimal, very minimal. This appears to be an excellent PC for an air traveler. Absolutely. Light, thin, and it's always connected as well. I agree. And the keyboard's looking good. And I can see a little bit of fingerprints on it. Let me wipe it down. Yeah, it does collect fingerprints. It's got like a rubberized grip over here. Good to see Tech Realm. Hopefully the Windows and ARM will eventually become a viable thing. So far, it's looking pretty good. So let me open that up. So I'm interested in this one because if this can give us the battery life they're claiming, and what they're claiming is some pretty hefty numbers here when it comes to the battery. Let's take a look. Let me just take a look real quick. They're claiming up to 28 hours. And now, of course, that's video playback. According to them, it has a 49.5 watt-hour battery. So some pretty lofty numbers that they're claiming here. So it's been pretty zippy so far. That's the thing I'm noticing here. Did I click on it? Let's see. Let me just close these. Hold on. Let's go back here. Let me just see. This has got a... How big is this drive? Hold on. Let's go to the properties. So this has got a... So this is my USB drive. What am I looking at? I'm talking about the PC here. So it's got a 512 gigabyte SSD. We're going to test the download speeds in a moment, but let's get to the Geekbench. We did that. Cinebench, here we go. And let's see if this can run. Let's see if this can actually run on here. Again, 64-bit, maybe hit or miss. I don't know. It doesn't look like anything's happening. Let me also get, if that doesn't work, let's see if they can do an R20. Let's see if we could do R23. What the hell? Let's get it. Let's see what the hell. So the 15 might not work. Maybe that's an older version. I don't know. But we were able to run the Geekbench so far, but I believe that's 64-bit. Let's see if this will work. So this is going to download. Should be able to do it, but I don't know. 81 of you watching. Good to see everybody. So that's going to download pretty quickly. So the Wi-Fi is working out pretty well. It's a Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, sub-6, 5G on this. So according to that. All right, let's see. Running Android apps native on ARM and its impact on the CPU and battery life. That's a good point. Yeah, we're going to see all that, hopefully. I just want to get some of these benchmarks running, see if we can get it. We already did the Geekbench. That worked. Again, it should be running in emulation mode under Windows, so we'll see. So while that's downloading, let's take some of your questions. If only Windows toned down the bloatware. Well, if you get like a Surface device, you don't have that. So if you use the code ThinkBigDeals, you'll get 1,084 off. Wow. So that would take that would half it, right? I mean, so check that out, people. Look at the link below and use that ThinkBigDeals coupon code. You'll get some big numbers off that. Yeah, brawnier than expected. Okay, let me see if this this can open this app. Let's extract it. It's very zippy. And one of the things I'm noticing so far is the zippiness of the CPU so far. So it's working out pretty good. And again, that initial benchmark showed some pretty promising numbers for, I would say, an equivalent of an 11th gen Core i5. I think Windows, they have the Windows for ARM. I think it'll work natively. I think it's been optimized by Microsoft. So you'll have no problem if you're using Word, Excel, PowerPoint, stuff like that. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to work right now. These should work technically, but again, I don't know how this emulation is working. I just opened it up, but we'll see. Now, Monday, as I mentioned, I have the HP Spectre X360 14 coming in. It's a redesign in line with the 16-inch that we saw. But this is going to have a 12th gen U series processor. It looks pretty interesting. So let's see if this can open this Cinebench R23. So I don't know if we can run these or not, unless I have to download some updates. Maybe not. I don't know. There it is. Huh. How do you like that? So it worked. So let's run the Cinebench test. Even though it's connected to HDMI, let's see. So CPU, it'll be able to run a CPU test, obviously, but it says virtual CPU. So again, this is running in virtualization, right? Or yeah, because it can't run it natively, so it has to do it in emulation or virtualization mode. Yeah, that's a big deal to get those kind of discounts. So you like it. You like the live streams. All right, you're addicted, my friend. All right. Coming up. Yeah, and I think Apple's pushed the envelope with their ARM-based silicon. So hopefully, you know, this is a big step in the right direction. Now, this is only a temporary one because I think they're going to have their big one. Is it the Project Voltaire, one of them? I don't remember now which one it was, but there's one coming that the next gen from Qualcomm that's supposedly the big leap, you know, on par with the Apple and so forth. So this is sort of like, this is just improving on what was before, which wasn't very good. I mean, the original HCX wasn't great, and then we saw it in the the Surface Pro X. We saw it in the Samsung Galaxy Book S, and then we saw the HCX Gen 2. We saw that again in the Surface, updated their version of it, and then we saw it in the HP Elite Folio, which I still use. It's really great. And now we're seeing the next gen, the Gen 3. And of course, we'll see updated Surface Pro X with their version coming out very soon. I've seen the new Spectre 14 in the Best Buy today with the 12th gen processor. It has a 1080p camera, yes, with a up from the 720p in the 11th gen. Yeah, I'm going to get that, I think, either Monday or Tuesday. It's scheduled to come into the studio, so I will have some videos on that. So I'm looking forward to that upgrade. It's got a 3000 by 2000 OLED display, and if it's anything like last year's, it's going to be one of the best ones out there. I think it was really good. So that would be a really awesome thing to get, right? So yeah, and I hope, William, I hope you're enjoying your 16-inch X360. So that's going to have the ARC graphics. Let us know how they turn out. Maybe run some benchmarks if you can. What's your take on the Intel ARC graphics? Because I don't have any in the studio, believe it or not. With all the laptops that came in, I still don't have any. So if you can give us some information, that would be great. Why is Apple so far ahead in terms of the ARC system on chip in rendering speeds and overall performance? Well, Apple did it right. You know, they worked on it for many years. They went away from the Intel, so they got a little bit of a head start. Although the Windows on ARM has been around a while, but they just didn't innovate as quickly as Apple, apparently. So I guess that's why we're seeing them far ahead. But I think the competition will catch up at some point. And I think Qualcomm's got a nice roadmap on this. So we'll see. With ARM, we'll look back on those quaint times in the recent past and think, can you believe laptops used to only last 4 to 5 hours on a single charge? Now, that's the thing with this one. They're claiming 28 hours of video playback. And I can tell you this. I haven't used this device, but I did meet with Lenovo back in New York in January when I met with them regarding this laptop. And the person there told me he was using it as his daily driver, basically, and he's seeing phenomenal battery life. In fact, that 28-hour is not so far-fetched in terms of the video playback. Again, I'll do real-world mixed usage. I'll do my battery test, of course, probably tonight after the live stream, of course. But if it may run into tomorrow, if it's what's reported, how good the battery life is, we'll see. One of the benefits of having a thin and light always on connected type of device is the battery life, having the ability, and that's where the ARM is supposedly going to be the strength here in efficiency and battery life. No fan in this, by the way, that I'm aware of. I don't think there's any fan. This is a fanless design, which like an ARM-based chip, it should. So there you go. Okay, so Qualcomm, according to Keyboard G, Qualcomm reference core designs from ARM. Apple purpose redesigned cores for their purposes. So Apple, yeah, they seem to have done it very well. Obviously, the proof is in the results. So they're doing pretty good. So this one is a nice design so far. You can go far back as you see here. It's almost like a rubberized feel to it on the deck. Keyboard's feeling good so far. It's a ThinkPad keyboard. It's got the military spec durability, so that's going to be good. I believe this is also a spill-proof or spill-resistant, I should say, keyboard. Let me see, according to what they're saying. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Sustainability is a big thing. Spill-resistant keyboard, glass touchpad, backlit white LED backlighting on it, FE e-shutter. So it's an e-shutter switch right there. Right there is the e-shutter. It's looking good. Now, again, the question is going to be, how long would that 49.5 watt-hour battery last? Hopefully, it's going to be pretty good. Hopefully, pretty good. All right, so while that's still doing that, I'm liking it so far. And if it can give the battery life, it would be great. It is backlit. It's a backlit keyboard. Let's see if we can see it here. So function. Yeah, it's a backlit keyboard. Let me see if I could bring in a close-up of the keyboard for you. Give me a second. So there's the keyboard, and you can sort of see the backlighting. It has those typical ThinkPad keys on it. So for those wondering, there's the key for the e-shutter, okay? And there's some communication keys there. I believe that's a power button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner. We'll take a look at the camera as well in a moment. Some ThinkPad branding. There's the touchpad. It's a nicely sized, in line with what we got. And of course, the track point is there. And that's still running. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now, good to see Jeremy Tarter here. Good to see you, my friend. How's the battery life looking? Well, on the Z13 you're talking about. And I will be reviewing the Z16. So the Z13, which I have here, give me a second. So this has been a pleasure to use so far. And we can look at it over here. It does collect a little fingerprints, even on the vegan leather, definitely on the bottom, but of course you're not looking at that. But you could definitely see that. It's very, very nice. Let's put them side to side. I am loving this, the Z13, to be honest with you. Looking good. Now, This has the edge-to-edge keyboard. Now, this has 2 speaker grills on the side. This does not. But the sound has been pretty good on that Z13. And let me see if I could turn it on. I don't know if it has juice. We'll see. There she is. Oh, you like it, J.R. Garcia. Okay. There it is. It just wasn't on. Okay. You can see the 2 of them here. Oh, let me tell you what happened. I had a little scare with this device. So for my IT people out there, maybe you can shed some light on this. I did a little research. I was able to fix it. I had to reinstall Windows on this. So what happened was, after the live stream and after doing all that, the next day I went to turn it on. Actually, the day after I went to turn it on, and I wouldn't let me go in. It was blocked from the BitLocker. It asked me for a key, and then when I tried to find the key, it wouldn't allow me on my account, and I couldn't get in. I tried everything, all the tricks on the trade, couldn't get in. So I wound up having to reinstall Windows. So I lost some of the software on it, but when I did reinstall it, it actually seems to be working better, a clean install. But I was really scared that I would have to get a replacement unit on this from Lenovo, but I was able to figure it out, and I was able to reinstall Windows. I lost that wallpaper, but I found some pretty nice wallpaper here. What do you think? But yeah, that BitLocker, when Windows encrypts the data on the drive, somehow it thought there was some kind of change in the hardware, maybe. I don't know. And then what happened was it just locked me out. I couldn't get in, no matter everything I tried. And that was maybe to the point, but maybe look back to the point about bloatware. Yeah. So I don't know why it did it, but it did it. And I was able to reinstall Windows. I had to use a thumb drive, and I was able to download the Windows creation tool, put Windows 11. Yeah, I think when I did that reinstall, it's actually worked out really good, because now I did lose that software for the track point. By the way, these raised grooves here that you can sort of see there are the place where these physical mouse buttons would be when you use the track point. So it's like a scroll lock and the left and right mouse buttons. It actually worked out pretty well. Been using the track point more on that, more than I thought I would. I don't usually use it that much, and it's actually worked out pretty well so far. But of course, the performance will be better on this, and I'm expecting the battery life to be better on this. With Lenovo, you can install recovery image for device from the website. I couldn't get on. So the problem was, Ahmed, I couldn't do anything. So thank God I have so many other devices. I was able to load a Windows image on, the creation tool onto a drive, and then I was able to change the boot order. I was able, of course, to get into the BIOS and change the boot order to launch or to boot up from the drive, and then I was able to install Windows. But that was a little bit scary. I couldn't, and I went on the YouTube to see what other solutions, and everything I tried, it just wouldn't work. But I was able to get it working, thank God. They were ready to send me a new one, but I would have to wait for that. I'm glad it just worked out well. So the display on this one, on the Z13, Jeremy, is a 1920 by 1200 IPS display, 60 hertz. It's really, really good. Good coverage of the color gamut, good color accuracy. Now, you can get it in a 2.8K OLED display. Now, that would, of course, have the higher resolution, but it will use a lot more battery life, especially since it's OLED. I didn't like that challenge, William. I didn't like that challenge. That was a nerve-wracking, because I had so many videos I need to do with this, comparison videos and so forth. I was not happy. So I went to sleep upset. So I didn't finish it. I didn't fix it till the next morning. So when I had fresh eyes on it, and let me just reinstall Windows. This is ridiculous. I kept trying to bypass this BitLocker. It was terrible. So the Z13 looks better than the X13s. Well, this is more of a traditional ThinkPad look in a way. This doesn't. But again, this is the Snapdragon. This has the Ryzen 7 Pro, the 6850U. Okay, we got 96 of you, so it's looking like a pretty decent turnout. Good to see everybody. If you want to give a super chat, help support the channel, why not? Super stickers, memberships, helps on a monthly basis, so that always helps, but nothing, of course, required. But we are growing the memberships. We are really looking good. The views are up this month because we have so many new devices coming in all at once. And then I have the HP Spectre X360 14-inch with the OLED 3000 by 2000 display coming with the 12th gen U-series processor. That's coming on Monday, probably Tuesday. Let's say Tuesday to play it safe. If it comes Monday, it'll be even better. And that's going to have a 5 megapixel webcam on that. So hopefully a nice video conferencing device as well that you could take with you on the road. It's also got that updated design language we saw on the 16-inch HP Spectre. So there you go. The T-Series to remain the workhorse, of course. Yeah, and we're going to be getting those in. The T16 I'm looking forward to. The question you have to ask is, why was BitLocker enabled to begin with? Now, I didn't enable it, but they did it anyway. And that is a very good question, William. I was not happy. Believe me, I was not a happy camper. So who knows why they did it? I don't know. But I was able to figure it out. So nits-wise, according to Juan, so nits, 405 on this one. They're claiming 300 nits. I didn't measure it yet. This is a matte display. This is a glossy display, so you'll see the difference between the two. So this is a brighter display, and this one, of course, they're both IPS displays. 1920 by 1200 on both, but there is an option for a 2.8K OLED display, and that, of course, you'll pay extra for, but it'll also eat up more battery. But I would love to see it on this one as well, because I'm really liking the hardware on this. This thing is so premium, and I love this vegan leather cover on it. It's been working out pretty well. And I love the edge-to-edge keyboard. I just love picking it up. It's one of those things. So I think what they're doing, and as I mentioned in the other live stream and of course in the video, they're going after the XPS crowd. Even though this is a business enterprise type brand, they're going after that crowd, the XPS 13 crowd, that type. So no problem, my friend. Z13 looks very modern. The future of ThinkPad, maybe? I don't know. But I will be hopefully getting the Z16 in soon, so stay tuned, people. We'd like to see that as well. So we got a multi-core score on this Geekbench, the Cinebench R23, 2132. Not so terrible, people, considering it's running a Snapdragon ARM chip in it. So not too bad. Let's run the single core. But that's not a bad score. Now, that's multi-core, but of course, this did much better. Now, another note on the Z13, by the way, the initial test I ran during the live stream where a lot of things were going on, got about 7,700 on the multi-core in that R23. However, I reran that in better conditions, of course, obviously with the updates and everything. I got over 9,200 on that. So much better multi-core score that sustained workload. So that's going to count for any throttling and stuff like that. And I'll talk more about it in the upcoming full review. But just so you know, I got better numbers that second time around. How long will x86 remain in a dominant force in the PC computing? Yeah. Now, I think the single core is going to be really weak on this because it looks like it's going at a molasses pace. I don't know if it even will finish during our live stream here. Does the Z13 vegan leather feel the same from the front from the HP Folio? Well, guess what I have here? The HP Folio. This is a vegan leather also. A little dirty. And this one has got that pull forward design. Let's bring it onto the stream here. Let's just put this, we're going to put the baby to the corner there. By the way, Digital Slang was here earlier. I forgot to say hello to him, but I want to say hello. He's a good guy. Now, I don't think I have any juice on this one, but as far as the vegan leather, this is smoother. This has a little bit more raised grooves on the ThinkPad. This one has a little bit more smoother feel with stitching on it. This is very nice, actually. I've been loving this. This also has this has LTE in this one, but I think they eventually came out with one with 5G. This has 5G. This has the pull forward design, as you see there. And then this you can rotate, or you can put it flat. So I like it. Hopefully they'll do a follow-up this year. We'll see. And this has a 3:2 aspect ratio. Doesn't have any juice, so I'd have to plug it in. This one has a 16:10. So there you go. Just so for those people wondering. And I like to travel with that one. All right, so that's running that. For the T series, it would be nice. It would need to have no numpad keyboard option. Only way for us programmers will buy it. Only P1 and X1 are like that at the 16-inch right now. So I did look at the T series. If you go back to my video when I went to New York, I looked at the T series, this T16, which is going to replace the 15, of course. Take a look at that. I don't remember if it had. I don't think it had a numpad. Did it? I don't remember, to be honest. But we should check a look probably. I'll get one in. We'll check it out. We only have 66 likes, but we have 85 of you watching. Isn't that kind of, maybe you guys don't like me. I don't know. Hopefully they make a newer HP Folio. Thanks for answering. No problem. Yeah, I like the Folio. Big fan of it. It's really nice. Look how slow this is. But again, 2132 for a multi-core. I don't have my result here, but if I go to... This is the one I got the other day when I reran it once I reinstalled Windows. And let me get to that score because it did a lot better that second time around. So I got 90, actually even better than I thought. It got 9402 on the multi-core and 1495 on the single core on that sustained workload R23. That's the heavy workload of the 10-minute plus test. This one got 2132. But this is going to be the equivalent of a Core i5 11th gen so far of what I'm seeing so far. But again, this is running a lot in virtualization, so it's not going to run it natively. So you have to keep that in mind. But I think they made some headway here, a little bit better than, of course, HCX Gen 2. How important is USB 4 on the new AMD devices? So you're going to be able to do a lot of the functionality of a Thunderbolt, so like say Thunderbolt 3 or whatever. You'll be able to connect to external GPUs, monitors, and so forth, hubs. From what I understand, there are people that have already connected external GPUs through these USB 4. I do not have one to test, at least not yet, but that's what I'm reading. So hopefully that will be the case. Okay, but having USB 4 is going to bring it more in line to say whatever Thunderbolt 3 had to offer. And that was proprietary intellectual property for Intel, and probably why AMD wasn't licensing it. They could have licensed it. I don't think there was anything preventing them from doing it. But a lot better than having, say, USB 3.2 Gen 2, which is what we have here. This is going to have it. In dimmed room, which display looks glossy or anti-reflective coating like on the Mac or the XPS. So this is a little bit, this is glossy. This one is matte display. Less glare on this one. But this is pretty good, actually. It's got an anti-reflective coating on this one, not a glare. So this is a glossy display, but they did a nice job on the coating on it. It's actually pretty good. Now, I will notice some fingerprints on the keyboard and on the bottom. The bottom is collecting a lot of fingerprints. Got 87 of you. Good to see everybody. All right. So while that's still running, and then we could take a look at the camera, but let's wait till that's done. Got about another 5 to 7 more minutes of it, but we can still look at the device, of course. And this is the Z13 on the right. Now, I also have the MacBook Air M2, which is another, obviously, device that does have the M2 chip, and that's going to be a lot better when it comes to multi-core and stuff like that. So they have a lot of they have a lot more to go in terms of trying to catch up. So this is the M2, and I've been liking it. It's a good device. Also fanless. There, of course, is the notch. This has a reverse notch. This has the notch. And if I turn on the camera, I don't know if that's going to affect the performance here, but I want to see the camera on it. But the camera's pretty decent on the Mac. Not bad. The display is okay. Look, I think it's a nice device, but when you start looking at the price on it, the problems start to arise in the sense that why are you looking at this, especially when you up the RAM, up the storage options, then you want to go into the MacBook Pro 14, at least in my opinion. It doesn't make sense not to go with that. So that's just me, but it's a nice device. I'm actually enjoying it. Its battery life's been really good so far. I have not even charged it since the other day, and I still have 75 left. But again, I haven't really been using it all that much, to be honest. But the standby time is looking good on it, so it's been pretty good. A random dude with hobbies, especially since the 256. What's the 256? I don't. Oh, they offered a 256. You definitely don't want to buy that. That's right. You don't want to buy that. And I said that last time as a public service announcement. Do not buy the entry-level 256 gig SSD version of the MacBook Air M2, okay? If you do, I'll laugh at you. There's no reason for anybody to buy that. Do not buy that. So that's not, first of all, 256 gigs in 2022 is unacceptable. I said it with the Microsoft Surface Laptop Go 2, and I'm saying it here with the MacBook Air M2. Do not buy anything with 500, at a minimum, get it with 512, but do not get anything with 256 gigs of SSD storage. It's just common sense. That's to hook you in. That's to get you in the door. That's what they're doing. But let's see what other questions. Let me go back a little bit. The MacBook Air should have been sold with 16 gigabytes of memory. So standard, right. So they're giving you 8 gigabytes of unified memory here. And the numbers were good. But here's the problem, by the way, regarding that storage. It was slow. And especially the 256 gig, that's going to be even slower. So this one did not have the fastest reads and writes. I don't know about this one. We didn't test that out yet. But this did not have the fastest read and writes. But for the most part, for the people that are buying it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, Nick. I'm looking forward to getting the Slim 7 7i Pro X. A lot of power for the 14-inch. Yes, I am looking forward to that. I got a chance to go hands-on with it last time I met with Lenovo. Was that in March? I don't remember. When I went to New York, the last one I did. And the Dell XPS 13 Plus should be 16 gigabytes of memory too. So the one I just took delivery of, and again, I'm probably going to do a separate video on this, is the 8 gigabyte model with Core i5 1240p. And want to see what it compares to. Of course, I have the 32 gigabyte one with the OLED, which is the 3.5K OLED one. So it's going to be a big disparity. But I would like to see what the battery life is. When Dell asked me which one I wanted to review, I thought for comparison purposes, it made more sense to ask for not only the dark version, the graphite version, but also the one that has a Core i5, so we can compare it to the Core i7, also P-Series, and of course, the difference in RAM. So the 8 gigabytes versus the 32 that I have in my own personal unit. So it should be interesting. I'll probably do a separate live stream and video on that. But it's looking good so far. So, but again, I haven't taken that one out of the box yet. 99. Can we get one more person? Let's get to 100. Why the hell did I want to do the Cinebench R23 on a Snapdragon? Because this would have been done already, even though this one throttles down. But the numbers I saw so far on that Geekbench were pretty decent. And what did we see here? Did I keep it up? So we saw 5662 when we ran it, and we saw 1103 single core. So this is just so to put it into perspective. These are good numbers. These are an equivalent to an i5, maybe 11 gen, right? Maybe even an i7, because I think I had some devices last year with the 11th gen that scored about 55, 5600. So this is impressive. This is impressive. And 1103 is very respectable considering this is a Snapdragon. So can we get the likes up for the watchers? Yeah, 1-to-1 would be great. So we got 92 of you, but only 76 likes. I like what Dave has to say here. Why not do that, people? Do it. Do it. I don't know how much. So right now we're at over an hour. And the way things are going, this is going to be going an hour with this Cinebench R23. Where you're going to see the big thing is the battery life. I'm going to test this battery life. I'm going to start my test tonight, overnight. And it's going to go into tomorrow, I have a feeling. So I don't know when I can report the battery life, but I may just tweet out. So if you're not following me on Twitter, Instagram, I may tweet out some of the results as the hours are going by, because I think this thing is going to be a big longevity monster. I think it's going to be going a long time. That's the benefit of having it. And if you can get that performance up to that decent i5 11th gen level, which I think it's going to do, I think we got something here. We got 5G modem on this. We got the really good build quality, and it's a ThinkPad. Use that code, get that 40% or 45, whatever it was, percent off. It might be something to look at, especially if you want to get always on connection, 5G, and of course having that Snapdragon. So maybe it might be good. Why not do web benchmarks such as Basemark Web 3 since the Edge runs natively on ARM? Yeah, we can do that. What is that other one? Was it the speedometer test? Was that one we can run? Let me see if we, I don't know if it's going to affect our score, by the way, but I'll run it again, of course. What is it, the speedometer? Let's see the speedometer 2.0. I don't know if I should be running this while the same one with the R23 is running. I'm probably screwing things up, but that's what we do. That's how we run here. That's how we do it live. We'll see what kind of score it gets. Run it on here. Let's see if we can run it on here. Just to get an idea of the speed. Again, Mac, you didn't have to plug in. What is the starting price? Go over to the website. It's in the link in the description below. There's a coupon code. Somebody put it earlier into the chat. Look earlier. I think there's a 45% coupon code if you use, where was it? What was it? Think Big Deals. Think Big Deals. Use that coupon code and you'll get this for $8,084 off. So look at this. This scored 390 and this scored 102. So to put it into perspective, this isn't too bad, by the way, but that's a much better score. But again, I don't need it to be a speed demon. I need it to be good enough to do stuff on the road. Hopefully Windows and ARM will eventually become a viable thing in the near future. Yeah, me too. What do you think the ThinkBook 13s Gen 4 just bought it? I have it. I have it here. I'm doing a battery test with it right now, so I don't know if I can show it to you. I like it. I got the, it's got the Core i5 1240p in that one, I think. Yeah, that one has a 1240p. Looking good. I can probably, it's probably out of battery by now. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second. So I know, so that's a good deal, my friend. So this is the ThinkBook 13s Gen 4, and it's really nice. It's got a nice two-tone on it. ThinkBook. and it's got a great price. Ask Visionary over there. So very nice. Core. This has the Core i5. Now I don't have it plugged in. Hold on. I could probably plug it in, but it's got a nice display, 2.5K display. Give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So this is the ThinkBook 13X. I mean, there's so much stuff coming in, people. You can see it here. Now, let me move over the Mac here. Too many stuff going on here. So I'm going to have to see what my battery test here. Now, I think you can also get this in a Ryzen processor, but this is the Intel version. All these PCs look alike. Yeah, you're not kidding. But the designs are pretty good. Now, I have it all the way down because I was testing the battery. It's not a touch screen, by the way, but I think they might offer one with a touch. They didn't have any battery in it. So I think it's a little bit stuck right now, but it's still, there it is. Okay. It's on the power saver mode. So I didn't mean to go on to this right now, but let me turn off the battery test. Hold on, let me just do this real quick. So let me just take a look real quick at something. Well, you could look at my beautiful face. So this started with 100%. I just want to see how the battery is on this. So it died out at about 6:30. Let me just see. So it got over 10 hours. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good battery life for a Core i5 1240p. So this, the ThinkBook. Let's see, where is it? Hold on. Hold on. It's got too many things running and it's in the power efficiency mode. I know this is probably boring for some people, but pretty good battery life so far. So now I put it on the performance. Okay. So there it is. It's got a matte display, a non-touch, 300 nit display also. It's got a little bit of a notch on the top, but we're going to talk more about it in the video. Good to see Michael Bird here. We got 89 likes, but 94 people watching, so that's pretty good. A little bit, a couple of technical difficulties earlier, but pretty good so far, live stream. We're testing out this one in the back. This is obviously the star of tonight's, or the feature of tonight's live stream. And let's go back here. And it's still running. So this is a Cinebench R23. So it's running it in virtualization. This is what this one got on that speedometer test, but we'll talk more about that in the review coming up for this. I'm liking the MacBook Air. It's not bad. So the Visionary got it for such a good price. It has the exact specs as a Z13, except touchscreen, and which is wild. So very nice performance out of this so far. I'll talk more about it. I didn't do a live stream on this one because I just have limited time. This just came in. But I'm liking the form factor, 13.3-inch, 16 to 10, 1920 by 1200 display. It's actually really nice. I'm a big fan of the ThinkBook line because this has the two-tone color that I like out of the ThinkBook line. It's almost like a cross between the Yoga line and the ThinkPad line, but you don't get the track point. You get a glass touchpad. It's actually pretty nice there. Okay, I have to fix my camera. Just give me a second. Let me just get this set up properly. Hold on. Just it's black. There we go. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is it here. You can see it there. And that is a good price, Visionary. You got it for what, $800 and something? That's fantastic. And it has a smile-shaped key, so it's almost like a hybrid between a ThinkPad and a Yoga. So it's the ThinkBook line. It's geared towards small to medium businesses, or SMBs. It's pretty good. You can see the two-tone here. I like it. I'm liking it. Let's put it back there. I'm liking it a lot. All right. But it's good for Friday night. We come here, we hang out, and should I keep it live? I guess I will keep it as a replay. So I want to test the camera on this in a second. This is almost done. It's almost done. Based on your experience with the X13s, do you think that the XCX Gen 3 will make a dent in the X86 market when it gets adopted by other manufacturers at scale? I don't know. So far, the numbers are looking decent, although this is not going to blow you away, the numbers here, but let me show you. Here it is. 580 on the single core. Again, this is all virtualization. And I guess this is really not a use case scenario for this, so just keep that in mind. But 2132 for multi-core on the virtualization of the 64-bit app, that's not bad. So let me take a screenshot of that. Okay, so we'll save that. And then let me take a screenshot of this, because we're going to use it in the video. And let me take a screenshot of this. So this was a very good score, by the way. Okay. This was a good score. And let's see if we can run Crystal Disk Mark. I just want to see what SSD speeds we're looking at here real quick. So let's go there. Where is it? Where do we download it from? This is not the right one. Go to download. There we go. So that's going to download that. Then we'll take a look at the camera in a minute. Just unpack this one, and then we'll look at the camera, and then we'll get this. It's pretty zippy, you know? That's definitely, the single core isn't where it shines on multi-core, yeah. And that insane integrated graphics. Okay, so you're right on the other one. So you're talking about the ThinkBook. So let's do this real quick while we can do that while we're going to look at the camera. So we're going to do this one and then close these. Okay, let's close that. So I'm just curious to see real quick what kind of speeds we're going to get on here, because it does support, according to their website, it could do pretty decent speeds. And this is Gen 3 speeds, even though it supports Gen 4, according to that, up to 1 terabyte of PCIe SSD Gen 4. And I'll open it up in the video when I do it. No problem. So it's looking like that. We're going to get back to this in a moment, but let's get the camera going, because I want to see this camera on here. Now, do I have it? Oh, I had to see. I had it. So this camera is there's a physical key to shut the camera off, and it's actually a pretty decent camera. A little dark, but let's go to the. This is the video. It's actually pretty decent, pretty clear. What do you think? Let me know. but it looks pretty good. Hey, Andrew, are you planning to grab the P14s Gen 3? I saw it comes with a new 100-watt adapter, which can't find details for. At some point, I will be getting that. So stay tuned, HJ. Stay tuned. I don't know exact dates yet. It's all coming in fast and furious. I've been trying to think why we get PCIe Gen 3 speeds. I wonder it's because the M2 is routed through the chipset, not by the CPU. That could be it. The other theory I have is it probably might save on battery and heat. Might be more of an efficiency thing. I don't know, but you know, for the most people, for everyday tasks, you'll be fine. You're not gaming on. By the way, you're not gaming on this or even the other one. If you wanted to, you probably could on that ThinkBook if you want to lower the settings. But this is pretty good, right? It looks good. You like it? So this is what it looks like here. It's not bad. It's pretty clear, actually. I'm curious about the microphones. We'll get it in the video. Pretty good. All right. So this is still running. Okay. But the performance has been pretty decent. Now, I've been using the Edge here, and that has been okay so far. I haven't put Chrome on this yet. I have a lot to do. Now, this came from the people over at Lenovo, their PR team, and they have a SIM card in here. It's a 5G from AT&T, and this has a sub-6 modem in it, and I believe it's the, let me get the exact information. It's got a 5G sub-6 eSIM, and you could also get 5G millimeter wave eSIM. So I guess it does both, actually, I guess. But if we look at the device manager, it says, let's see, when I went there, we went to the display. No, we went to the network adapters. This has the Snapdragon X55 5G modem, for those wondering. And it's got the Qualcomm Wi-Fi 6E as far as the Wi-Fi, and it also has Bluetooth 5.2. Or 5.1. I think I said 2, but it's 5.1. So sorry if I misstated the information. But that's where we are. So David liked the camera. Good. Amazing specs. It's an interesting device. And I'm seeing about that pretty much Core i5 11th gen speeds as far as the CPU. Now, as far as this, these are Gen 3 speeds of the SSD. And it's not a huge deal on a device like this. These are pretty fast enough. They're fast enough. Certainly the 3000 on the read, 1818 on the write so far. I mean, it's good. It's fine. It's a nice device. Now, especially if you can get it on discount, maybe even better. But it's a ThinkPad. It's a workhorse. So it'll be pretty interesting. But, you know, it's really interesting. Let me just check the stream, make sure everything's looking okay. Looks like it's pretty good. And the video's doing okay as far as that Z13. It's looking pretty good. So I want to thank everybody for that. Watching it, and it looks like there's a lot of interest in that. So, all right, let's see what else. A little delay now. Where did that come from? Usually happens at around this time. All right, let's out of curiosity, yeah, there's a delay. Where did that come from? Let me unhook this. Out of curiosity, if you tap the red button on the keyboard, does it bring up the camera adjustments like it did on the other? So, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it does. Let me see. I got a slight delay again. This happens every so often now. I'm not really sure what's going on. But no, it doesn't do the same thing as the Z13, which is back there. But of course, I lost that. I got to let Lenovo know. Maybe they can send me that app or direct me where I can get it. What's my take on i5 versus i7? Well, it depends. In 12th gen, the i7 has been pretty good, although not as efficient as the 11th gen from last year. We noticed that the battery life is not as good, but that's where we are right now. And see, there's a little bit of a delay, but if I go here, it's better now. So it's sort of caught up. So I'm not really sure what's going on. But i5 versus i7, we're going to have more to talk about that soon. So let me take a screenshot of this. So we have that. So the camera looks good. So here's my takeaway. Camera looks good. Very good, actually. There's a camera shutter key on the keyboard. Very good keyboard so far. ThinkPad. ThinkPad durability, mil-spec rating. Thin bezels. Reverse notch on the top. Very good. Display is good. 300 nits according to them. Of course, I'll test it. It looks pretty good. It's bright enough. Not the brightest out there, of course. You'd like to see 300. You'd like to see above 400 even. But of course, IPS with matte display, 300 nits is good. It's going to be fine. Colors look good. But of course, I'll do all my analysis of the display. The power button also doubles a fingerprint scanner. So we'll test that. Keyboard, touchpad is good. Everything's looking good. USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports. There are 2 of them over here. And then, of course, you have the SIM tray over there. So it's looking pretty good. Camera's 1080p. Let me go back to make sure. So if I go to this front-facing camera, and let's go. So it's a 2 megapixel. It's on 2 megapixel right now. Oh, so it's a 2.1 megapixel. And the camera is 1080p, 30 frames per second. So it is a full HD camera. And according to this, you can get an optional full HD with IR. This, I don't believe, has the IR. And you could also get it with the computer vision and stuff. We talked about it with the options you get with the X1 Carbon Gen 10. We'll talk more about that soon. So it's looking pretty good. And that's it. I mean, as far as this is concerned, I think we're going to call it a live stream. We got 85 of you watching. We got 99 likes. Let's hit it one more time, people. Come on. Let's get to 100 likes at least. And look who it is. Dan Lee. Better late than never. Yeah. How many watts does it run at? I don't know. I'll have to figure all that out. So this is a CPU that it's a ARM chip. So it's a Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. And he's the 100th like. We now have 106. But JC says it was his. You could fight over it. I'm going to go. I got a lot of work to do, people. No, it was Electra. That was fun, William. Yeah. All right. What can I say, people? Look what I do for you. I get silly when I'm tired. So this is it. This is the X13s Gen 1. All right, people. I'll see you next time. Thanks, Visionary. Thanks, William. Thanks, everybody. All the moderators. You did a fantastic job. And I will see you next week. Next time, probably tomorrow. I got so much stuff. Just keep your subs boxes ready. You don't want to miss anything. Take care, Michael. And we'll see you, yes, you, in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.